Depending on where you live in the valley, and if you were unlucky enough to need gasoline yesterday, you could have paid 3 cents to a nickel more a gallon than you would have the day before or than you would have today. Yesterday, several dealers upped their prices, testing the water as it were, but many competitors didn't budge. So today, many of those dealers have come back down.
Well, they've gone up and down. We went up 4 cents a gallon yesterday and we dropped it 3 cents this morning.
Why? What's happening?
Well, competition went up and we tried to stay with them, and they went down and we went down with them.
The Retail Dealers Association says the bobbing prices are a result of dealers looking to relieve the squeeze on their profit margins as their costs of doing business keep going up.
We have really had one of the most competitive markets in the whole country here in Arizona, and primarily in the metropolitan area. So the prices are probably as low here in Phoenix and Tucson and the metropolitan areas, and even in Kingman. I was surprised at the prices. I came through there last night. So the Arizona consumer has been very fortunate with the low prices overall compared to the rest of the country.
Crosby says as the profit margin squeeze gets tighter, we can expect to see more bobbing prices. So it may pay consumers to shop around a little when buying gas during this pre-holiday period. But Crosby foresees a definite jump in prices at most dealers after the first of the year. And petroleum industry executives yesterday in Phoenix were saying that a 30-cent increase in the price of a gallon of gasoline is not impossible by next Christmas. Happy holidays. Bert Kennedy, Cool News 10.
Now, if you're going to dance, you're going to have to pay the fiddler. Now, we're here today to talk about paying the fiddler.
The dancers are state university students, the fiddler is the cost of education, and the Board of Regents Tuition and Fees Committee is in the middle. Student leaders and the Regents both agreed tuition had to go up. The question was, how much? The answer was a little for students from Arizona and a lot for students from out of state. The committee recommended a $50 increase in resident tuition at all 3 state schools, but non-resident tuition would go up $450 at Arizona State and the University of Arizona, and an even $500 at Northern Arizona. A big reason for the increases, the committee said, is that it's costing more to hire good teachers.
And I think that's the reason we frankly say the cost of education has gone up more than the consumer price index. And part of it is because we were behind in certain areas.
The recommendations pleased and displeased student leaders.
We're heartened by the fact that the resident students to whom we have a primary responsibility were not hit harder by the increase. We're a little bit worried about the non-resident students who have had a sizable increase for the second year in a row.
The full Board of Regents will vote on the recommended tuition increases in September. The board's president expects passage, but the students say they'll work to reduce the increases even further. John Kane, Cool News 10, the state capitol.
Banking services are becoming more and more automated. Automatic tellers, telephone bill paying, everything except the most tedious part, sorting and saving all those canceled checks. But now it looks like even that's on its way to automation. It's called SafeStore. Still in the experimental stages at Valley National Bank, it could end the need for saving all those shoe boxes full of canceled checks.
In this product that we offer, which is our courtesy check storing, we would store on film those checks, and anything you wanted to know, or if you wanted a photostatic copy of one of them, we would provide that for you, which is much easier than you storing them.
If you ever needed a copy of a check, you would receive one within 3 days, and SABEC says a photostat copy is legally acceptable. The service isn't available in Phoenix yet. In fact, Valley National is one of the few banks in the country offering the services. There is a pilot program in Kingman, though. SABEC says customers apparently are happy with it.
They like the safety and the security of not having canceled checks lay around where people can nose through them or forge signatures from, and know that those banks were secure and kept in, those checks were secure and kept safely at the bank and on microfilm.
The service will help the bank, too. SABEC says it will save them from mailing out 350 million checks a year at a cost of $1.5 million in postage.
If this looks like an easy job, it's not. Air traffic controllers have one of the most high-powered, high-pressure jobs around.
Paul Purcell has been an air traffic controller for 6.5 years. It took him 2.5 years just to get the job. Because of so much interest in aviation these days, jobs like his are hard to come by. Now, that might be difficult for some of us to understand. Rumors have it that few other jobs create more heart trouble or ulcers. Purcell himself has seen evidence of that.
I've seen, I'd say, 3, 4 people leave because of an ulcer or a heart problem or something like that. I've seen others that just quit the job and left.
It looks like a fun job, and to Purcell and his cohorts it is. But there are times when the pressure gets to be almost too much.
You may be talking to 10 different airplanes at one time. You may have that many inbound and have 10, 12 airplanes sitting on the ground. You may have 5 or 6 airplanes or more and have someone lost or unsure of what they're doing, and trying to work that aircraft a little bit more and help that aircraft a little bit more while still handling the others, or even having an emergency situation. As you said, an aircraft lose an engine or something like that, and still work the other airplanes.
Some people, he says, have to pace while they work. Sitting still during peak travel periods is too hard. Others get short of breath or tap their feet. Yet he says few will ever truly admit that they feel pressured. It's the people closest to them, like their wives, who can really see it.
They see the pressure that we say we don't have. They see it when we come home. We don't want to talk. We want to bury ourselves into a newspaper. We want to go out and work in a garden or go do something just to get away from everything else and be by ourselves for a little bit. We don't really notice that.
Part of it is the beauty of the job. Up there overlooking the grandeur of the city, the graciousness of airplanes landing and taking off. A job like any other, with its peculiar pitfalls. But Purcell loves it, he says. No other job can compare. Lisa Allen, Cool News 10.
The proposed West Phoenix site is between 43rd and 51st Avenues, just south of Thunderbird Road. It's state-owned land, about 300 acres. Officials say that's as big as ASU's present campus without the sports facilities. This land on the Glendale border was chosen over a larger site farther north near Happy Valley Road and the freeway. City planners say this site is more accessible and utilities are already in place.
We discovered that almost precisely half of the county's population lies closer to this site than to the existing ASU campus site. In addition, this campus is in the same immediate area as some of the most rapidly growing portions of Maricopa County.
Less than 5 miles away are both the American Graduate School of International Management and Glendale Community College. Officials at both schools told Cool News they're delighted at the prospect of having an ASU branch nearby.
Wouldn't Glendale Community College lose students to an ASU branch located so close by?
We don't think so. In fact, we think with an ASU branch on the west side, we might even gain students, because students who live on the west side might want to start their education at community college and then transfer over to ASU, west side branch.
Even residents we talked to who live right across the street from the site seem to feel the advantages of the proposed school would outweigh the congestion it would bring.
Well, I don't know about across the street, but I think it'd be great, because I hate to see houses going in over here. And I like the idea of the ASU in here.
I don't think I'll be going to ASU considering how the distance it is, but if there's a branch here, I'd seriously consider going there.
Tomorrow, the full Board of Regents will vote on the proposed site approved in committee today. But officials estimate it will be at least 1983 before ASU main campus has a branch on the west side. Kim Hawkins, Cool News 10.
You see helicopters in our news and features all the time. Sleek, sophisticated machines that cost anywhere from $250,000 to $2 or more million, far out of the reach of most people.
But for several years, there's been a little helicopter around that's more realistic for that certain breed of person who wants to own and fly one for fun. You're probably familiar with them. The ready-to-assemble kits are built in Tempe by Rotorways.
And I think that silver thread of the love for rotorcraft is really the basic qualification for a person to buy one of our ships. What we're doing with our Rotoway helicopters is selling them in component form, actually in kits where the individual puts it together himself. And this is an example of the plans that we use. It's called the See-Do instruction system. You see it and you do it. You have photo number 1, and you do what it says under the caption. You cross that photo off and come to photo number 2. When you're through with photo number 600, you're through with your helicopter. The main, quite honestly, the main drawback to our program over the years has been that we've been selling more or less from one location, selling only on a factory direct basis.
They design and manufacture nearly every part, even so far as to cast and machine the engines and other parts in their own foundry. They train people to fly them here and estimate that there are several thousand of them flying all over the world.
And when you stop to think where the prices of automobiles, small planes, and speedboats are going these days, suddenly $17,000 to $20,000 for a little helicopter of your own doesn't seem all that unreasonable. Karen Key, Cool News 10.
The going rate for parking near the state fair appears to be $3 a car. But you may have noticed one lot on McDowell that charges $5 a car, and the competitors are none too pleased.
Well, I think the public is being gouged $5 for parking when they could park in other lots for $2 or $3. These people are gouging the public.
To add to the aggravation of operators like Woodward, the man charging $5, C.R. Griffin, has apparently been operating illegally. While he claims everything is above board, zoning officials issued him a citation Tuesday because his lot has not been properly treated to keep the dust down, and Griffin has not been granted a variance. But he continues to operate.
You can see I have my lots armor coated or oiled. I do have a use permit, and I had to spend thousands of dollars to do this. He didn't have to spend a penny, and he's out there making money.
Why should he charge more than we do and have to do less?
Zoning officials have turned Griffin's case over to the city prosecutor, but it will be some time before even an initial hearing is held.
Well, I believe the response time once a ticket is issued is 10 days.
Well, 10 days is all that's left for the fair itself, and in 10 days, parking lot owners estimate Griffin will have made about $17,000. Maximum penalty for a zoning violation, officials say, is $1,000 and/or 6 months in jail. It appears Mr. Griffin has little to lose. Aren't you gouging the public at $5 a car?
Let me ask you a question. If your car is ripped off, do you have a deductible on your insurance? $50 or $100?
Griffin claims it's worth $5 to park in his lot because it's lighted and he offers better security than the others. Kim Hawkins, Cool News 10.